That's exactly why I created my guide, Green Zone Living. It's built on 11 core health pillars. But most people obsess over just one or two. Now consider this biorhythm wheel. This is the idea of living in harmony with nature's clock. Traditional Chinese medicine mapped out what's known as the organ clock. And according to this wisdom, each organ in our body has a time of peak activity during the 24-hour cycle. Between 1 and 3 p.m., your small intestine is active. This is digestion and absorption time. Blood flow is directed to your gut, which is why so many of us experience that afternoon crash. Now, human beings were never designed to live in sealed boxes surrounded by concrete, air conditioning, and Wi-Fi routers. We were designed to live in nature, and with hard science, I try to convince you to step outside as much as you can. If you haven't seen that video yet, go back and watch it. Now, my mission is simple: to help as many people as possible to shift into the green zone. And that's the zone of abundance, vitality. In plain words, near perfect health. But to achieve this, you need to include the word holistic in your dictionary. Most people major in minor things. They obsess over stuff that hardly moves the needle when it comes to health. Like spending money on exotic powders, fat burners, or multivitamins, while they are still sleeping 5 hours a night, eating ultra-processed food and barely moving their bodies. Or spending hours counting every grain of rice or logging food into apps while completely ignoring the actual quantity of their food. Or buying the latest smart rings, trackers, or red light gadgets when they don't even get regular sunlight, drink enough water, or have consistent bedtimes. You get the point. That's exactly why I created my guide, Green Zone Living. It's built on 11 core health pillars. But most people obsess over just one or two. And just like the UVB rays from the sun in the right amount can optimize vitamin D levels, but in excess, they can cause damage. The same way, obsessing over one or two aspects of health while neglecting the others will never get you to true lasting health. You can settle for substandard health if you want, accepting headaches, joint pains, or a weak gut as normal, but let me be clear, that's not health. That's just surviving. If you accept substandard health as your destiny, or you keep making excuses like I don't have time, sooner or later, you'll be forced to find the time for illness, for pain, and for hospital visits. Because prevention is better than cure. Be proactive, learn these foundations. And if you're still listening to this video, I know that you already care enough to take the first step and step into the green zone. So let's talk about something fascinating today: circadian aligned living. Now consider this biorhythm wheel. This is the idea of living in harmony with nature's clock. Traditional Chinese medicine mapped out what's known as the organ clock. And according to this wisdom, each organ in our body has a time of peak activity during the 24-hour cycle. Imagine this. What if instead of fighting against that rhythm, you actually flowed with it? And that's when health starts to feel effortless. That's when energy feels abundant. And that's when you step into the green zone of vitality. So let's walk through this wheel together, starting with the time slot of 5 to 7 a.m. This is where your large intestine is at the most active. This is your body's natural time to eliminate waste, to detox. And that's exactly why so many people feel that urge to empty their bowels first thing in the morning. And the best way to support this is to wake up, drink a glass of warm water, maybe add a squeeze of lemon, and give your body the chance to cleanse. It's also the best time to hold off on food or anything that is high in calories during this window so your system can complete its natural detox cycle. This is also the perfect time to step outside and get exposure to the morning sun, because that early light is incredibly important because it resets your circadian rhythm and primes your body for the day ahead. After that, bring in some movement, whether it's a workout, yoga, or simply a walk, anything that gets your circulation going and most importantly activates your lymphatic system so your immune defenses come fully online. And of course, if you like an extra boost, this is a great time for a clean cup of organic black coffee, mushroom coffee, or even matcha tea. And then you straight away dive into your deep work while your mind is still at its sharpest. And of course, if you can rise a bit earlier, around 4 a.m., you enter what's known as Brahma Muhurat, which is the most powerful time of the day for spiritual practice. Spending even an hour in Vipassana meditation or mantra jap sadhana during this sacred window can set a profound tone of clarity and focus for the rest of the day. From 7 to 9 a.m., your stomach is the most active. This is when your body is fully awake, your energy is rising, and your digestion is primed. It's the perfect time for a nourishing breakfast. Warm, easy to digest foods like porridge, fruit, or herbal teas. If you are following intermittent fasting, you can of course push your breakfast a bit later, but for most people this is the most natural window when they can have their breakfast. If you're waking up late, say around 7 a.m. instead of 4 or 5 a.m., just shift everything from that earlier slot forward. Between 9 and 11 a.m., your spleen is the most active. And in TCM, the spleen is tied to the earth element. And a balanced earth element means mental clarity, focus. This is your power window for focused work, problem solving, and deep concentration. If you have got creative projects or analytical work, this is the time when you crush them. All right. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., the heart takes the center stage. This is your social window, your connection time. And lunch fits beautifully here, ideally closer to 1 p.m. And it's best shared with others. In TCM, how you eat, that is calmly, joyfully, with family or colleagues, is just as important as what you eat. Between 1 and 3 p.m., your small intestine is active. This is digestion and absorption time. Blood flow is directed to your gut, which is why so many of us experience that afternoon crash. A short walk or a 20-minute power nap can work wonders here, but keep those naps short, more than half an hour, and you'll wake up groggy. Right, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., your bladder is active, and this is your second wind. Okay, many people feel refreshed around this time, and it's a great window for study, learning, or even a workout. And of course, the bonus is that, the gyms are less crowded around this time. From 5 to 7 p.m., your kidneys are active, and the kidneys are the root of vitality in TCM. And this is the time for a nourishing dinner, ideally warm and balanced. And it's also a beautiful window for family time, connection, and replenishment. Between 7 and 9 p.m., your pericardium is active, and this is where your body starts winding down. Okay, it's a time for light conversation, journaling, planning the next day, maybe a little comedy show or light reading, but no stressful work, no heavy emails, and no scary movies either. Your body is asking you to switch gears. Moving on, now comes the most crucial part, okay, between 9 to 11 p.m. The triple burner is active, and this is where modern life has completely derailed us. Ideally, you should be in bed by 10, screens off by 9, no caffeine after 3, and your last meal at least 4 to 5 hours before sleep. That's how you align with the natural clock. Having lived around the globe, I've realized that in many Western countries, people actually eat their dinners early and are in more alignment with the circadian cycle than people in India. And Yet we are from the land of yoga, a tradition that has always taught us not to eat after sunset and to live in harmony with nature. Still, in major cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, the reality is quite different, unfortunately. Parties and get togethers only begin after 9 p.m. Dinner is served not before 11 p.m., and until then, it's endless snacks and drinks. And people stay late at offices, work culture is extreme and imbalanced, and add to that OTT platforms and all kinds of distractions. Most people are only sleeping at 12 or 1 a.m., often with full stomachs and stressed out minds. How on planet Earth can these people expect good health? And to be honest, for most people, these health recommendations, this whole idea of circadian aligned living might feel impossible to follow. Some might even reject it outright, and I get it. It's not easy, but I have to give it to you straight. I'm not making the rules here. I'm also not being delusional either. You can stay somewhat healthy with late nights and less sleep, sure, but you will never truly reach the green zone, that state of near perfect health. At best, you will hover in the orange or purple zones. And here's the problem: being in the orange or purple zone means that you're much closer to the red zone, that dangerous place where disease has set in. Most chronic diseases don't just show up overnight. They build up slowly, silently over years, even decades. They compound over time. And this framework really makes it simple. If your daily stress is consistently more than the energy your body is producing, then sooner or later you will get sick. And that's why shifting into the green zone isn't optional for most people, it's essential. Now, I won't lie, it's not easy in the beginning, but here's the best part: once you have the will, the desire, the knowledge is right here. And when you start applying that knowledge, you'll see that just a handful of core habits can pretty much automate your health. They'll naturally move you into alignment with nature and guide you through all the 11 core health pillars without you even forcing it. You might struggle in the beginning, probably, for a period of few months, but sooner it will become second nature, just like brushing your teeth. Okay. If you want the green zone, you need to be asleep by 10 p.m. at the latest. That means screens off by 9 p.m., no caffeine after 3 p.m., and your last meal at least 4 to 5 hours before bed. Do this consistently for 25 to 26 nights of the month. You'll absolutely feel the shift into the green zone, because this window of time is meant for meditation and deep rest. It's also the surest way to wake up early and start the next day strong. And if your goal is to become a successful holistic nutrition or wellness coach, your best bet is a sleep-wake rhythm of 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Think about it. After 10 p.m., what are the top 3 things most people do besides sleep? Party, drink, or binge eat probably a tub of ice cream while watching the latest zombie series on Netflix. Unless, of course, you are a coder, working on a late night project, or maybe a nightclub owner. Now, compare that with the top 3 things people do during Brahma Muhurat, say, for example, between 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Meditation, workout, and deep work. Do you see the difference in energy and alignment? And that's the reality. It is what it is. But remember, nobody's perfect. And that's why in the coaching section of my holistic nutrition coach certification, I teach my students about the 70-30, 80-20, or the 90-10 mindsets that you can apply to yourself and your clients. For example, with a 80-20 mindset, it's totally okay to let go 6 days a month. The key is consistency, not perfection. All right? This is a crucial time slot. If you can win the battle of distraction with your mind at night, chances are you'll wake up to a powerful, productive day. And ultimately, success in life is determined by how well you live each day. Time slots from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. are very interesting as well and provide some important facts, and I've covered them in my health guide, Green Zone Living. the 11 core health pillars. If you need a free copy, just comment green zone below and we will send it over. And lastly, by the way, circadian aligned living has been beautifully documented in Ayurveda as well for thousands of years. This ancient wisdom is called Dincharya. Dina means day, and it refers to the daily cycle from sunrise to sunset. And Acharya comes from Achara, which means practice, conduct, or routine. Put together, Dincharya is simply the art of living in tune with the natural rhythms of the day. Ayurveda emphasizes that it's not just what you do, it's when you do it. Rise before the sun and you catch that Vata energy, creative, expansive, and inspiring. Eat with the sun, that is your Pitta energy, and your digestion, absorption, and detoxification all work in harmony with its peak power. And with the Kapha energy, rest with the dark, and you allow melatonin and deep cellular repair to do their magic. So when you flow with the nature's rhythm, life just feels smoother. You're not just fighting against your body, you're working with it. I'm Akash. Thank you so much for your time.